As an undisputed fact throughout time, art heals. Sure, art can reconnect the disconnected hemisphere of a traumatized brain, or it can release happy neurotransmitters or reduce physical pain and anxiety, and can possibly do far, far more in the medical world if pursued further. But what about art really allows boundless forms of healing to take place? There is a certain quality of art and the soul that science can't touch. Part of art's transcendent quality is its ability to reflect the soul, to explain the world by expressing the feelings and thoughts we can't quite express. Sometimes directly confronting internal and external conflicts can be too much for the mind to handle, so we can use art to act as a mediator between harsh realities and resolution. So many programs worldwide have been established solely to create a mediator for people who desperately need it. Some war veterans paint to find peace that will reflect back into themselves. According to the Department of Veteran Affairs, veterans account for 20% of suicides in the United States, and organizations help veterans heal unseen wounds of war through creative writing, art, and music. There are art institutions and ministries that employ prostitution escapees to make art and sell it to support and enable women to leave the awful reality of prostitution in their past. And considering that prostitution is the third largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the world, efforts like this make the world of a difference for many. I once helped teach English to Syrian girls, and while helping one sweet but very quiet student with her writing, I noticed a burn scar that enveloped her arm. I found out later that she had just escaped an occupied area in Syria, and there I had sat able to see her physical wounds completely healed, but unable to touch the emotional ones. Important organizations like the Art of Hope recognize internal wounds and thereby provide art therapy to Syrian refugees, especially women and children. War-torn and impoverished children express themselves through art to find rest in the paintings they produce or the characters they act. Art reflects. In theater, we can find ourselves through the characters we portray. In dance, we can externalize the chaos of emotions through the fluidity of movement. In music, we can hear the unspoken words of others. In drawing and painting, we can put abstract ideas into physical form. In writing, we can create realities that reflect our inner critiques of and hopes for the world. Art reflects, and in those reflections, we can find healing. Healing from the uncertainty of the future, the sufferings of loved ones, and all our unanswered questions. As Picasso said, art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Not everybody has a constant connection with different forms of art, but most everyone connects to that one song, or that one movie, or that one picture taken of a faraway place. That one deep connection for me is storytelling. Stories like the parables told in the Bible or other great works of literature, or my own attempts at storytelling, or through film. One of my all-time favorite shows, the one that helped me wash away the dust of everyday life, is Cowboy Bebop. Containing grand tales within a sad tale, the show follows space bounty hunters, drifting around space just barely scraping by. With complicated backgrounds, the characters have disconnected themselves with other people and their past problems. In this great disconnect, the protagonists mosey on through life, watching the ignored issues of their own play out likewise in the very people they have chosen to disconnect from. Watching these characters avoiding their emotions and eventually dealing with their troubled past works for me as a healing process. I see myself in those characters, and in watching them as reflections of myself, I'm indirectly facing my own troubles as they face theirs. Take a moment to imagine a time when art moved you. A song that made you dance. A book that brought you to tears. A movie that made you take a double take on life. Stop and think. Those are reflections, moments when you lose yourself, find yourself, understand something, or completely lose understanding of something. Those moments of reflection are where, I think, the healing power of art resides.